Good morning, everyone. This is Arturio Emerys with another episode of Galactic Science. I have a lot to show you today. I haven't recorded in almost a week, and I've done many things to the base here. Things got a little out of control. Mistakes were made. Things were corrected. But for now, I think everything's finally working, and it's a little bit crazy. So I'm just going to kind of start over in the automated production area and just kind of show you what I've got going on here. So almost everything here got reworked, and it's all working very well now, and in fact parts of it are working too well. The start of the system, obsidian creates the silicon dioxide. The silicon dioxide gets broken down into silicon and oxygen. Here, silicon dioxide gets made into gravel. And then here we produce the moon rock, moon dirt, moon turf. It's all using the transfer pipes. These kind of blue ones, these are rationing pipes that make sure that one stack of each of these goes into the crafters. And then the synthesis machine that makes the gravel, you don't really need a rationing pipe. You can just feed it with the transfer node. Pretty much all of these have a single stack upgrade and then 8 speed upgrades, and they work very quickly. This one here is actually running. You can see it's very quickly breaking down silicon dioxide and or silicon dioxide into silicon and oxygen. And I'm a little curious where the oxygen's going. What is using oxygen that quickly? Oh, I've got this one turned. Oh, wow. So yeah, as quickly as I can produce silicon and oxygen, this bad boy here has been making moon turf. And that's part of the danger of the system, is it runs so quickly that I can burn through all my resources in a very short period of time. Like you can see, it's since I've turned it off, it's up to over 2 stacks of oxygen. So it is producing oxygen very quickly, but that's just a testament to how quickly it was using it. It was basically using it as fast as it could produce it. So what I can do over here is, where is the, okay, there we go. So now moon turf is being fed into this chest, which automatically gets fed into these sieves, and these are fully upgraded. 64 speed upgrades and 64 fortune upgrades, and it burns through power quite a bit, but I've got power to burn, so that's okay. But look how quickly it produces those resources. Very fast. Now, all of the stuff from moon turf, pretty much none of it is going to go through the ore processing system here. The moon turf doesn't produce any ores, so it's all dropping down there and getting fed over here, and you can see these numbers going up. Now all of these barrels are fully upgraded, which means each one can hold a little over 2 million. And like I said, I went a little crazy. So after you get past the ore processing here, this is where I produce the fuel for the advanced generator, which is downstairs. So the B-Space barrel here is getting saplings from the tree farm upstairs, and decomposing them into cellulose. And the same with the logs from upstairs. They're getting decomposed into cellulose. The cellulose is getting decomposed and drawn in the carbon, the hydrogen, and the oxygen. And they're getting fed down here and stored on the wall where we have oxygen there. Where is carbon? Carbon is there. And actually I've got oxygen in 2 places. I should fix that, but that'll have to happen later. And then hydrogen here. Even though the system's currently turned off right now, I'm not really using much power, so the advanced generator is probably not running. So continuing down the line, if I need to decompose random stuff, I can just throw it in this chest here. Gets decomposed and drawn into the system. Sag mill. Sorry about that, one of my dogs is sneezing. Alloy smelters for producing various stuff. And over here I have electrical compressors, a circuit fabricator. This is for recharging my RR pick. And what this is for is the sag mill. We'll talk about this later in another video, because I'm not going to go downstairs in this video. I'm just going to stay up here. But the sag mill, I can grab cobblestone from right there. I can feed it into this chest here, and the sag mill will break it down and produce sand. Now that sand I can feed into this barrel. And this is linked to a barrel elsewhere that feeds into the soul sand production system. And that should be running, but it doesn't appear to be. These barrels may not be properly linked. I'll look at that later. But like I said, today, this episode here, which I'm going to try to keep to about 15 to 20 minutes, I'm just going to talk about this level of the plant, the industrial complex here. Okay, so on this wall, we get logs from the tree farm upstairs, and this crafter makes them into planks, right there. And here, all the ingredients for pistons, because you need an ungodly amount of pistons. So if I turn that on, that'll start producing pistons. Slowly. Or actually, it should be going faster than that. There we go. And now it's starting to really crank them out. I'm not really sure. It takes a second for them to really kind of figure out what's going on. But again, the rationing pipe means that it'll only keep a stack of everything in here. And so in that short period of time, we produced over 2 stacks of pistons. And the little bit of wood planks that were in here, they dropped a little bit because we used, I guess we would have used about 6 stacks of planks. So further down the line, planks get made into slabs there. And that's because we make barrels here, and barrels require slabs. So I really tried to set this up to automatically create nearly everything, at least until I ran out of room for these kind of production stations. This one makes chests because chests are an ingredient for barrels. This one makes sticks, and that's because I'm automatically making iron axes to feed the tree farm upstairs. So I can turn this on and give it a second. And this one seems to run faster for some reason. I'm not really sure why. But you can see it's very, very quickly making axes. And again, okay, this one barrel is not fully upgraded. This one will only hold 32,000 axes. Or actually, that might be because axes don't stack. And everything else, it'll hold 2 million of them because that's 31,000 stacks of 64. But this one, it's just 31,000 of individual items. So further down the line, we make pistons and barrels, and those get combined here into storage upgrades. So I have a few pistons and a few barrels there. If I turn this on, that'll make, and the reason they're disappearing is this here is taking them and it's combining them into the maximum size storage upgrade. So it's pulling them from there, and then if I turn this on, it'll start making more of these. Hopefully. Don't prove me wrong. Maybe it's just slow. Oh, I think I know what part of the problem is that if these aren't stacked, I think he gets confused. Okay, so there it produced a, I didn't even produce 81 of them. It takes an awful lot of storage upgrades to make an 81, so these have to run for a while. Here we make the structural upgrade, the first structural upgrade for barrels. And each of the 7 levels of structural upgrades are made here. And it's using the same kind of system where we have B-space barrels linked over here to these transfer nodes with a rationing pipe and a crafter. And then they all have the recipe to make one upgrade. So this one takes pistons and obsidian and makes void barrel upgrades. And some of these I let run too long. At the point now, pretty much all the barrels have been upgraded, so I don't really need to make more. But when I was making these, some of these I let run too long, and that's how I burned through a lot of resources and used up some stuff. Since then, I let the system run for a while I wasn't playing for several hours and let it rebuild its resources. So here, this is where I make the ender eyes, and that's because you need ender eyes to make ender chests, and ender chests are necessary to make B-space barrel upgrades. And I did make a soul binder, and I did make a slice and spice. We'll talk about those later in another video, I think. And here is a system for making propane. So it takes hydrogen and carbon, rationing pipe, rationing pipe, and it basically just cranks out propane. And I'm not, oh, okay, I've got them turned off at the moment, so if I turn this on, turn both of those on, you can see it pretty quickly makes propane. But I don't want to burn through all that. This is my storage. It's in desperate need of being cleaned out. There's a lot of crap in here that just needs to go. Oh, wait, that is the wrong thing. I'm looking for the trash can. So I've just been kind of dumping stuff. I haven't really been organizing, and there's just a lot of garbage everywhere. And this is the sorting system. This is the output for all of the solid material from the sieves and the ore processing and the modular furnace. All of it gets fed into here somehow. Wow, the diamonds are really, oh, okay, that's 4 stacks. It's I was looking at that 565 stacks and saw the diamonds and I thought, wow, I've got a lot of diamonds, but no, that's just flint. So this does pretty well. I've used so much gold to make all of the vibrant alloy and then the energetic alloy. It's just crazy how much of that I've used. Tremendous amounts of redstone and glowstone are produced by the system, which is good because I need it a lot. And I guess I could turn this off now. So this is all, like I said, these are all fully upgraded. These just grind through stuff. These hammerers, these are fully upgraded because if I am producing ore, I found that I really kind of need 7 of these to really kind of keep up with it. Otherwise, it starts to back up in the buffer chests here, and if I let that run long enough, eventually it'll fill these, and then it'll stop working. So just to combat that, I just went ahead and added 7 of these. So this still works pretty well. This works awesomely. Both of these power generators here are now fully upgraded. They're all perfectly tweaked. 20 world interaction upgrades in this produces enough water. 3 of these will keep this whole system running, and the transfer nodes, if you put 1 stack upgrade and 24 speed upgrades in there, that may be overkill, but I don't remember when I was doing my troubleshooting. That will keep 32 of these upgraded with the octadic capacitors running full time. And I swapped out all of the energy conduit for the Ender energy conduit. This can handle up to 80,000 RF a tick. The entire system is now completely rewired with that. Altogether, with the advanced generator downstairs and these 2 systems, I can produce 28,000 RF a tick. So I could expand it a little bit for purposes of basically feeding the fusion reactor faster, but I haven't really felt the need to do so. It takes up so much room to make more of these, and it seems to work the way it is now. Now for the fusion reactor, it's all set up, it's all powered. I've got it set up for automatic production of stuff. The easiest way to make these things is with lead and chlorine. So if you go in here and you add 1 lead, 1 chlorine, that makes einsteinium. Okay? And then I'll make another one of these. So lead and chlorine makes einsteinium. And then 2 copper makes cerium. Now the nice thing about this, these are radioactive, so you do need to do something with them relatively quickly. I have not started. I did make a little bit of memlinium just to verify that this was working properly, but I have not started on the Stargate yet. So the next step, einsteinium combined makes memlinium. Nope. And then 2 memlinium combined makes chetwinium. Let me check my cheat sheet here. Okay. The next thing is 2 chetwinium will make wilithium. And I do need to make... Okay, let's make a little bit more. And you can see that my power system is pretty good. It's refilling these pretty quickly. So I feel pretty good about that. So if I take the wilithium there, that will make the chythlenium. Okay. And these are all ingredients of things that you need to make the Stargate. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take this einsteinium and make it into memlinium. And let's see what's next. Okay, the cerium. The reason you need the cerium, if you take memlinium and cerium and combine them, you get slindium. And that one does take quite a bit of power, but again, it restores pretty quickly. So those are pretty much all the recipes that you'll need to make the Stargate. We'll talk about those in a further episode. I saw someone was using, I think it was tungsten and sodium to make their Einsteinium, and that does work, but that's a multi-step process, and you get an equal amount from using the lead and the chlorine, and it's just as easy to get, so I prefer to go that route. So here's the fission reactor. Why is that not acting like a fission reactor? You know what? In all of my mining and tunneling around here, I must have broken this somewhere, so at some point I'll have to fix this. It also may, no, it does have power because I ran power to it. What in the world is going on here? This is a weird bug that I have noticed. Every now and again when you interact with the fusion chamber, it kind of messes around with your bar and makes it look like you've duplicated stuff when you haven't, and kind of moves things in weird places. I don't understand it. It's kind of weird. Let's see, I just did it again. It's kind of swapping stuff in my inventory for some reason. I noticed that when we were playing on the community server too. That would happen occasionally. And so over here, this has been running for, I don't know, about 5 minutes since I turned that off, and it's gone through maybe not quite a third of what was in this chest. So this system will go through materials very, very quickly, even with just 4 sieves. The 4 over here are independent, so that I can process more than one thing at once. But I think that will do it for this episode. I'm going to call it right here, and then I'm going to move on and I'm going to record another episode for upstairs and another episode for downstairs, and hopefully get those edited maybe tomorrow. We'll see. I hope you've enjoyed the episode. One piece of advice, if you do, let me talk about this real quick before I sign out, is make sure you don't leave these on. Because it will really, really burn through these very, very quickly. When I first set this up, I left a lot of these turned on here, not even for very long, for maybe 10, 15 minutes, something along that line. I had 800 stacks of logs in here, and this system completely ate 800 stacks of logs in 15 minutes. And that's, part of the reason why I was able to upgrade everything in here. But it was, suddenly I didn't have any wood. I'd been saving up wood for like 2 or 3 days in anticipation of bringing the advanced generator online. And I'm like, wow, I don't have any wood left. So that was a little disconcerting. But anyway, so yeah, just bear that in mind. Be sure and kind of run these for very short periods of time and then turn them off. Because if you put these upgrades in here, a stack upgrade and a speed upgrade, these just fly. And if you have enough power to keep everything powered so that it's not limited, by power, it'll crank out resources at a phenomenal rate. So anyway, I hope you all enjoyed this. If you haven't subscribed and you want to, that would be wonderful. Leave a like. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave a question or comments. And other than that, we'll call it right there. This is Arturio Emerys signing out.